happy aura, a calm space in a loud world. Slow down, breathe deep, and enjoy wisdom. Listen, let me take your hand for a moment. Breathe with me, steady, slow. There are words carved deep into the heart of time, words about daring, words about loss, and about the fragile courage that whispers when everything is at stake. They say, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, pause there, feel those syllables, heavy, dangerous, alive, because what they ask of you is nothing less than madness, or perhaps the purest form of faith. We spend our lives gathering, little by little, piece by piece, like ants dragging crumbs back to the nest, coins in a jar, moments in a diary, photographs pressed under glass, friends gathered around a table, victories, small and large. You keep stacking them, a life of careful accounting, a heap of your winnings. And then the voice comes, quiet, patient, merciless. It says, now put it all on the line. Think of it, everything you worked for, every night spent awake, shaping your dream, every scar you wear proudly, every tear you tried to hide, the laughter, the long hours, the weight of years, a heap, your heap, and you're asked to risk it all on one turn, one throw of dice, one card flipped, one coin spinning in the air. What would you do? Would your hands tremble? Would your throat tighten? Would you whisper a prayer to a God you're not even sure is listening? Would you hold back, clutching your winnings so tightly they cut your palms? Or would you let go? Would you step into the silence and say, yes, I'll risk it all? Because that's the secret buried in these lines. It isn't really about gambling, not dice, not cards, not coins. It's about the gamble of the soul, the gamble of daring to live fully, daring to love fully, daring to lose everything and still call it living. Think of the painter. She spends years perfecting her craft, brush by brush, layer by layer, and then one day, she burns the old canvases, all of them gone. Why? Because she knows the only way forward is through risk, through the terrifying surrender of safety. Think of the lover. He gives his heart, every tender piece of it. He risks rejection, abandonment, the ache of betrayal, but still he gives, because love without risk isn't love at all. Think of you right now, here. What is the thing you fear to lose? What is the heap you have gathered that you guard like a dragon? Over its hoard, name it, whisper it, feel the weight of it in your chest. And now imagine risking it, letting it go. There's a strange freedom in that image, because when you risk everything, you are free from everything. No more chains of what if, no more bars if I can't, no more prison of safety. You become untethered, and maybe, just maybe, you discover that your true wealth was never in the heap at all. It was in your courage, in the audacity of the risk itself. I know, this sounds romantic, but it isn't easy. Risk cuts deep, It tears at the skin of certainty. It drags you naked into the unknown. You might lose. You might lose everything. But listen carefully. That loss, that ruin, is where the soul grows wings. When the coin spins in the air, your heart stops, time slows, and in that instant, you are most alive, not in the winning, not in the losing, but in the risking. We live in a world that tells you to protect. Save your money, save your strength, save your love, save your words, lock them in a chest, keep them safe. But a life locked away is no life at all. The heap gathers dust, the heart grows cold, and you forget what it means to feel. So let me ask again, would you risk it? Not just the coins in your pocket, but the treasures of your soul. Would you risk your pride to speak your truth? Would you risk your comfort to chase your calling? Would you risk your certainty to leap into love? Would you risk being wrong in order to truly live? Let's imagine it together. You stand at the edge. The world below looks endless. Your winnings are heavy in your hands. Years of gathering, years of safety, and then a whisper, it says, jump. What do? Do you close your eyes? Do you step back? Or do you spread your arms and let the wind take you? I know it's terrifying. The unknown always is. But hear me. When you risk it all, you meet yourself in ways you never thought possible. The false skin peels away. The fragile shell breaks. And beneath it, something stronger, something truer, a version of you didn't even know was waiting. Sometimes risk breaks you, but sometimes it remakes you. Sometimes it burns your heap to ashes, but from those ashes, a clearer fire rises. Think of the phoenix. It doesn't hoard its feathers. It doesn't guard its flame. It burns and burns again. Risk is not the enemy of life. Risk is the rhythm of life. When a child takes their first step, that is risk. When a sailor leaves shore, that is risk. When an artist unveils their work, when a soldier stands in the storm, when a lover whispers, I trust you, all of it, risk. Life itself is one long turn of pitch and toss. And here's the truth you must not forget. The heap of your winnings, your safety, your treasures, your pride, it was never yours to keep. Time will strip it away. Loss will find it. Death will claim it. So why cling? Why guard it so fiercely when the end is already written? Better, perhaps, to risk it willingly, to gamble with joy, to throw the coin in the air and smile at the spin, because then you are not a prisoner. You are a player, not a keeper of dust, but a creator of moments. Listen again. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, the words don't say you will win. They don't promise safety. They promise something else. Freedom, release, the wild courage to live without fear of losing. That is the secret. So tonight, as you sit with these words, ask yourself, what is your heap? What would it mean? To risk it, not recklessly, not foolishly, but boldly, deliberately, with the courage of someone who knows that safety was never the point. The point was to live, to risk, to lose, to rise, to burn, to begin again. And when the coin falls, when the dust settles, win or lose, you will have lived fully, bravely, completely, and maybe that is the only winning that matters. So hold the heap in your hands, lift your eyes, take the turn, and risk it all, because life is waiting.